Hey guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we will go straight over to those charts. But yeah, Bitcoin evening wrap, and obviously we're going to look at the rest of the world markets also that are relevant to our little corner of the financial ecosystem that is cryptocurrency. But yeah, firstly DXY. As you can see, we have had a relatively weak day, which is good because we need this back down. Again, it's another example of we had the pump up and we basically retraced 50% of that move. We're now sat at that midpoint. So do we bounce from here, make our way upwards, or do we lose this halfway point and then make our way all the way down and then decide what we're going to do about this next level, this next potential level to take out? So yeah, that is all that really is to say about the DXY. Again, obviously it's basically trading sideways, but yeah, it's a case of can we just get back down? Can we retrace this whole move back up in much the same way that stocks have retraced all their move back down? And then we are going to be in business again. Let's have a look at that. That old Nasdaq. There it is, back up there around 11.5. 11.5 is an important area. I've said to you guys, get back above 11.5. We are going to be looking pretty good for just all-time highs or new all-time highs again. Obviously, our initial foray above 11.5 on the was met with a 4-hour 9, and look, that was the obviously a great sell level. So yeah, there was that, wasn't there, the good old 4-hour TD9s. Let's have a look at Euro US dollar. This is just another way realistically of looking at the DXY. It's just another way of looking at dollar strength against one of the other major world pairs. So yeah, as you can see, we are euro coming off a bit, so that today in the 4-hour you can see, so that's not quite signaling the same as what we've seen in the DXY, but because obviously the DXY has come down as well. So clearly it's the other currencies in that basket with the DXY that have been that the dollar's been moving down against. But yeah, I mean, we can see we're sort of trapped in this little bit of a range here against this horizontal. So yeah, I mean, the Goldilocks scenario is we bounce off here, push through, make our way upwards above one spot. Well, basically it's practically 1.18, isn't it? 1.18, and then we'll be back on our way towards the 1.19, and everything will be honky-dory again. But yeah, obviously the main thing really was we're looking at is a DXY. It's going to drop out this formation again, lose this trend line, lose this horizontal, and then we'll be looking great. Obviously the flip side is we turn around this point and move to the upside, break this, look like we have an inverted head and shoulders, and then obviously we'll be making our way up to the mid 94s again. So we'll have to see. We will have to see how that plays out. But obviously, all being well in the markets at the moment, we could just be in for more risk on type price action. So here we go. Here it is, the good old SPX, the SPX, basically the S&P futures. So there we have it. Trump opens his mouth the next day. Oh, just send me the $1,200 stimulus bill alone, and I'll pass it immediately. And then what do we see? A full retrace. I was talking about this morning, about how I was talking about this yesterday, how we're looking for a midpoint retest, and I was talking today how, to be honest, this is like when we have Jay Powell come out and say some stupid stuff, and we just basically sell off and then retrace. So there we have it, sell off and then retrace. This happened quite a lot when we were bumping around prior to March lows. Jay Powell would talk, markets were getting a bit toppy, we would come down, and then next thing you know, back up again. Excellente. Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, I mean, could this be a bull flag? It most certainly could be. But if we are going to play in line with the rest of the markets, yeah, I mean, we could be looking at more downside in this if we are looking at more risk. So I don't necessarily, like I said, have fundamental views as much on this, other than just the simple fact that these coins are high risk. So if we are having risk on, then you would expect these to obviously outperform Bitcoin because well, they're high risk, so you put money into high risk coins, and these coins are smaller. As a whole, the altcoin market is smaller, and that means that well, actually, it's not clearly because it's 60%. Sorry, 60% BTC dominance, isn't it? Actually, so yeah, obviously, the altcoin market is only 40% of the market, but yeah, and obviously as this goes down, that's Bitcoin dominance going down. I'm sure you guys know this. I'm just talking myself through the mistake that I've just made, but yeah, and then as this goes down, that means the actual amount of the Bitcoin dominance is going down, i.e. the altcoin market as a percentage is going up. So glad I've cleared that up in my own mind. But yeah, we are, well, again, this is horizontal. Can we take this out? Can we break it? Can we come down? If we do, then it's going to be game on for the alts again. And again, like I said, that will probably be decided on is the dollar coming down? Are we in a risk on environment? Let's have a look at good old Bitcoin herself. So yeah, as you can see, Bitcoin is still tightening up in a range. I mean, do I want to draw in yet another trend line along here? I mean, I will do just for the sake of just for the sake of it, you know. We'll just adjust this a little bit. Yeah, we've got another little bit. I mean, we've got pennants within pennants within pennants within pennants at the moment. I mean, that's just because we're dragging on without breaking out. So at some point we've got to break out of this, guys. And what I will say is that we now have a bit of a relative difference between where stock markets are and where Bitcoin is. So there is that potential upside. If again, I'm reverting back to what I was saying on Tuesday before we had the Trump dump. That if we have another big day in stocks like we've had today, then yeah, I pretty much can't see Bitcoin not breaking out to the upside. I can't see the dollar not breaking down to that lower horizontal again, and I can't see basically unicorns and rainbows and glitter and stardust. That's basically what we're going to be, what the environment is going to be. Obviously, the flip side to that is to the downside. Will stocks get hammered? Will the dollar go up? I mean, I believe there will have to be some sort of catalyst, and that catalyst will probably go along the lines of we're not going to give you that 1,200 stimulus bill check for everybody, but I just don't see how the Democrats are really going to want to do that. I think Trump has put them in. I mean, if I want to give Trump the benefit of the doubt with his 4D chess gamesmanship, or is it 5D or 4D chess, whatever, his basically his strategy. Okay, so he came out yesterday, tanked the markets, and then has basically come back and said today, well, I will do this, I will agree just that part, you send me the bill and I'll do it. And to be honest, that is probably the main part for him, for the markets. And a lot of the other stuff in the bill that the Dems wanted, a lot of ridiculous stuff that the Dems wanted, then obviously that goes out the window with some stuff the Republicans wanted as well. But mainly he will have got that check for all the people that would buoy the markets, and he's not had to give the Dems anything they want. And I mean, the Dems holding back with the stimulus, basically demanding crazy stuff. And obviously holding back the 1,200 checks that were, well, potentially 1,200 depending on what they decide on. Them holding that back has basically they were holding it back as a bargaining tool, basically. So now if he just wipes out that bargaining tool, and then yeah, it's obviously going to be good for Trump as well. So there you go. Is he a master tactician? I mean, you'd have to probably say during the course of all the moves that he's made that he probably is a master tactician. Yeah, I mean, I don't realistically, whether you do or don't like him, I don't think you can really deny the fact that he's good at what he does. I mean, let's face it, he became a billionaire, which isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do, and then he became the president of the United States, which definitely isn't one of the easiest things to do. So you can't say the guy is not an overachiever. And if you want, yeah, you can't say he's not an overachiever. So yeah, like it or not, that is the case of the matter. I mean, yeah, obviously, Biden, he's there. He could be the new president of the United States, but he's been in politics for, I think, 47 years. 47 years before he got there. Trump had been in politics. Well, actually, Trump had been in politics 0 years, hadn't he, and became the president. So, well, kudos to him on that basis. Anyway, all my point is, the fact is that when Trump does this crazy stuff and it miraculously seems like it's going to work out for him, you have got to question yourself a lot of the time and think, was that just a happy coincidence, or was that always the plan? Don't forget, he will have a massive team of very smart strategists, whatever you want to call them, however you want to pronounce that. He'll have all them helping him out as well. So come on, let's face it. If you have enough people around you, smarter people, they're gonna cover a lot of the bases for you. Anyway, I've talked way too much about that. There isn't much to talk about in Bitcoin, guys. Look, we're in a tightening formation. We need to break out. The dollar looking like it's going to move down. The stock's definitely moving up. Would indicate we're going to break to the upside. Not really much I can tell you other than that with Bitcoin. Let's have a look at this. We'll have a look at the stochastics. Yeah, 4 hour turning back up. Read into that what you will, on the basis we're in a very tight formation, but it clearly isn't. It isn't bad, but it's not necessarily as good as it normally would be. 10 hour turning back down, again, not necessarily good. Not necessarily bad. Sorry, not necessarily good, but not as bad as it could be. Same with the 12 hour moving down. Not necessarily good, but not necessarily as bad as it could be. Everything's either going to be not necessarily good, but not as bad as it could be, or not necessarily bad, but not as good as it could be. That is what I am basically going to tell you. Whatever the squiggle direction is on this, up, not necessarily good. Not necessarily not bad, but not as good as it could be. Anyway, you get my point. We are, all I'm telling you guys is that we are flatlining in price. This is the 2-day. Let's have a look at the daily. I mean, no, we'll go back to the 2-day. Look, we're flatlining in price. Look, guys, we are flatlining here. And Bitcoin does not flatline forever. That is faux show. That is for sure. So we are going to have to expect some sort of a move soon. And is it going to be to the upside? Is it going to be to the downside? That is a big question. With stocks, what they're doing, if they keep this up, if stocks keep this up, I think the dollar basically will be going down. Then I can't see that it's not going to be a break to the upside. Let's have a look at Ethereum. I did forget about our friend Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum. I mean, again, I keep saying this. Ethereum looking more bearish than Bitcoin, but it will obviously, especially in USD. If Bitcoin goes up, it will go up. If Bitcoin goes down, it will go down. The actual Satoshi pairing, though, is looking bad also. Looking very descending and triangle-y. Which, I mean, on the basis of what I just told you, that if, well, not really on the basis of what I told you, but on the basis of what I said about risk assets, Ethereum is obviously a higher risk asset than Bitcoin. So if we do have risk on, you would expect it to go up more than Bitcoin. So again, I mean, this does look bearish. This does look like it wants to break down, but we put a low in here and we've got a potential higher low here. So can we turn around this whole downwards movement and start making our way back up? Potentially we could. But I mean, we're at a dicey zone. We are at a dicey area. So again, it's all are we going to have a risk on bet? Look, oil's miraculous recovery. Yeah, just look at it. I mean, this is the V-shaped recovery. That is a V-shape. So yeah, where do we go from here? Do we continue up, or do we trade more sideways? I mean, if I had to say, I would potentially just say more sideways, really, until we get some real clarity into like the openings of markets. I mean, well, that's all we did for a while. Trade sideways, tighten up, bang, and then I think we'll just basically tighten up, potentially drifting up, and then, well, either bang down or bang up. We will see which way she bangs. So yeah, that is about it really. So things clearly looking better today than they did yesterday. Things were looking great on Monday. So let's see what tomorrow brings. are the Dems going to just send that bill to Trump, and he will sign it immediately, and these markets will absolutely love life. So yeah, all those Robinhood accounts will get recharged. And yes, so maybe some of those crypto trading accounts as well. We shall see. So that is it, guys. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys in the morning.